Hello and welcome to Good Morning Nintendo, where we have come back after a brief hiatus to give you the video game news on what we've been playing. Well, as always, one of your hosts, Dane, but joined by my wonderful co-host.
Dominic?
All right, and we're all usually we start off our show with a bit of what we've been playing, but I'm gonna keep it kind of brief today. All uh, I actually recently picked up a PS Vita, which we'll get.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that a bit later in the show. But I've been playing a lot of Persona 4 Golden on that, and stay tuned because I've actually been playing that alongside my brother Zach, and we're gonna be recording a spoiler cast for that sometime in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. Dom, what have you been up to recently?
Um, a lot of Bravely Default, too, kind of casually going like I was really, really, really hooked into it when it first came out. And then like as time went on, I've just kind of casually playing through it, leisurely finishing it. I played a little bit of Pac-Man 99. I forgot that even came out. I downloaded that, played that a bit. New Replicant came out yesterday. I've been playing that a bit. Oh, and then It Takes Two. I tried that out for a little bit. Really, really, really fun like couch co-op game. And I believe it has that thing where if you buy a copy, you get like a friend pass where someone else can play it for a couple days with you or something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. Well, realistically, I should say I've been playing a lot of VR chat, but we'll talk about that later.
That's what the segment's for. Is just like you can
All right,
let's just
you
talk
sure you
about it
want me
right.
to?
Yeah,
All right.
let's talk about it right here so that we can get into the news afterwards.
All right. So if you guys don't know, there's this thing called the Oculus. So my friend came over a while ago and brought his Oculus over, and I used it. It was the Oculus Quest 2, and it was really cool. I was like, man, this is awesome. So the next day I went and bought one, and I'm like, oh, I can play VR chat. Like everyone talks about it. I always see like funny videos on YouTube about it. Like, I'll play it. This will be a great time. So I downloaded it, and the first day was just fun. Like I was just running around. Like there's like your trolls, your little kids who are like Kermit the Frog in a Hawaiian t-shirt, like yelling at you and stuff like that. And then the second day, I met this person, and she was like, "Hey, what's your name?" And I was just like, "Oh, I didn't say. You just don't say your real name. You just say your avatar name." And then she was like, I was like, yeah, this is just like, I just got this headset. It's my second day using VR chat. She's like, wow, you're new to VR? I was like, yeah. She was like, well, let me show you around. So like, she like took me on a tour of VR chat, and I was just like in awe about like what goes down. Like the community in VR chat is just, it's insane. Like they have weddings, like they have legitimate weddings in there. There's a courthouse. Like she took me to a courthouse with an evidence room. There's a boxing ring where people box. There's Mario Kart where you can actually get in a cart and drive and play Mario Kart. Um, there's karaoke. There's karaoke night. There's literally a world where you can go into where there's songs you can play and sing karaoke with thousands of other people. Like it's insane. There's just it's the community they built is just like I was like it's like literally it felt like I don't know if you watch a lot of anime, but if you've like ever watched like a isekai or something like that where they're like in a fantasy world, it felt like that. It literally felt like you were like truly like kind of in this like virtual reality, and you kind of have this like not second personality, but just like a different persona, I guess. And this just like it was just super interesting, and I was just getting really engaged to it in it, and um, just like it was so cool because I could come home from work and like you could come to these worlds that were just playing like really relaxing music. There was one world I'd like to go to where it was just a big tree and it was really just played chill, relaxing music. Rain was coming down and you could actually like draw in some worlds. So I would just like kind of just chill out there and just draw for a bit. And you can like invite friends to it if you wanted to just speak with them one on one or hang out with them one on one. And I was just like, wow. And the more I got to know the community, I was curious. So I asked them a lot of questions like, why do you guys use VR chat? Why are you on here for? A lot of people, just come to it to escape. A lot of people just come to it to meet people and talk to friends. A lot of people come to it because they truly don't like, their reality. And there's just people that make fun of them. And there's communities in there. Like there's the furry community that like that there's no like discrimination there. Like everyone is like cool with being themselves. So there is no like you could come up and like be a furry or be whatever you are, and like people just like, oh hey, how you doing? Like like no one's gonna say anything to you, and it's just so cool that people they're allowing that. Like no one's just an a hole, and it's just like wow, that's so cool. This guy's passionate about this things. He's expressing it in here, and no one can make fun of him. Like that's great. It's unfortunate that in reality, some people might look down on you or say something about you, but I'm like, man, that's cool. And yeah, I was just like in awe by all this. And then I got to a point where I was playing it so much, I was like, look, I have to return this. I will pick it one up again when I've learned that I can, pick it up and put it down. And then that ended the VR chat saga. But I was on that thing for, I want to say for almost, almost a month. Just solid, like all day, every day. I would just sit and on the Oculus Quest 2 and just like talk to my friends and man, and I miss it so much. I really miss all my like VR chat and how everyone's doing. But and I didn't tell them I was leaving. I should have, but I was just like it was so hard. It's like weird because it's like you're really telling like you're like actually. It's like so I was just like no, return it and I'll come back at a certain time. The cool thing is I still have my account so I can log in and meet all my friends again. But yeah, that is the VR chat saga. It is over now. But one day it'll be back. What are your thoughts on VR chat? Like, have
I
you
mean,
used it? Have
I
you seen
haven't
any footage?
I haven't used VR chat and I haven't looked into any footage. I mean, thing that like strikes me as interesting about all that is, I mean, you every time that you really see every time I've seen VR come up in like all popular media, it's very much depicted as like this dystopian future where like it's just like I mean like in Adventure Time there's all the section called Islands in the show where they get to an island and it is literally just an island full of pods of people that have just like all that have just like fully committed it into VR, but like they've kind of left their bodies behind to kind of become nothing or like to become frail and like it's just like you or reading Ready Player One or and Ready Player Two is just like people have like kind of abandoned the world and everything that's really going on to just like enter into these VR worlds. And almost like it's a little. I mean, I'm not I feel like this is coming off a bit judgy, and I'm not trying to judge you or anything. But it's just like it seems like we've already hit that for a certain amount of people. It's just like just VR isn't at that level where it has that mass appeal um to most people. It's just like, but it's just like you see this in a lot of fiction. It's just like oh, it's just like people just go off and be in VR for like all the time that they're awake. And I was just like, that's the thing that like worries me about VR. Is just like,
Yeah, it's a trap. That really does happen. And every single person I talk to in VR chat, and I ask them like how much time they spend on it. They're like all day, and I'm like, no way. There's no way you could spend all day in VR chat. And then like 2 days later, I'm like going on 8 hours, and it's like what the. But I will say, to be fair, in VR chat, time flies. Like
yeah,
you could just spark a conversation with someone, and you're just like, it's been 4 hours. Like what the heck?
yeah. I mean, like
Um,
I can't really judge. I shouldn't really be like one to cast stones because like I'm playing Persona 4 Golden and like I've kind of taken this week as like a little bit of a vacation off of work and I haven't like had a whole lot to do other than like a few things here and there and like I'll just sit and play Persona 4 all day and like while listening to like YouTube videos or podcasts. So it's just like I'm not really one that should be judging people or anything. It's just like I'm doing the same thing but just in a different medium. So
It's funny you say that because I find that like if I'm playing a JRPG that I'm really enjoying, like for instance, I started doing it with Bravely Default 2. I'll do that too, where I kind of just like turn on a podcast or turn on some YouTube videos, turn the volume down on the game, and just like play the game while I'm kind of just relaxing to like the background music or whatever's going on, and just kind of I don't know, I find that kind of therapeutic in a way where you're just kind of like zone out for a bit. You're playing you're kind of engrossed in the game, but you're not really like you've already kind of tapped out of the story a bit, so you're kind of just grinding or whatever it may be, and you've got like a YouTube video going on in the background. But yeah,
oh yeah, I mean
I started doing that too.
I'm on my second playthrough of Persona
You already
4.
beat it?
What? Yeah, I already
You
beat
already
it,
beat?
and not
Oh
like, but I
wow.
wanna, I wanna platinum it.
I
Oh,
don't blame you.
but
Persona
like,
4 Golden is really good.
I got like the other day, like when I started my first playthrough, I got like maybe a third of the way through it on my first day on it because like I just I for all the story segments that I've already read, I mean like I've already seen, I'm just zooming through that part because I want to because like on my first playthrough I didn't platinum all my social links. So on the second playthrough I'm old. I just want to get to the part where like I see those new cutscenes for the social links rather than oh rather than like have to because like the opening for that game is like it takes you like 3 hours if you just like
Yeah.
sit and read everything until you actually get to like proper gameplay. So
Oh, I did forget. I did go see yesterday, Thursday, Thursday night. I went and saw Demon Slayer, Mugen Train in theaters, which was really great. So if anyone here watches anime and has been curious about it, I would check it out. And if you're cautious about theaters, I was pretty a little nervous myself, but I don't know how other theaters doing it. I know at AMC they will like open up theaters exclusively for like for instance, it was me, my little brother, and like two other people in a whole entire theater room. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty cool with that. But yeah, the movie was cool. But all right, yeah, I guess we should roll right on into the
what?
news because we got a lot to talk about.
Okay, but if we're gonna talk about shows, this is like I also highly recommend going watching Invincible on Amazon Prime. It the net, we have one more episode to come out, and that comes out next week on Friday. It's just like so far, like I've read the first compendium of the comics, and I've watched all of the show. Go watch the show. You don't really need to read the comics. Like they do so everything so much better in the show, and it's just like it probably covers most of the first compendium of the comics so far. It's just like there's a few storylines that aren't in the show so far, which I don't think we're getting to this season, but I've really been enjoying that. All right, now let's go into the show. Okay, we're gonna start off here with a little bit of a Sony rock block. So far we're gonna start with we have a lot of news to get through today, so we're gonna kinda distill things down a little bit. So there was this huge article that came out from Jason Schreier at Bloomberg that kind of like went into all Sony and their all and some of their studios talking about how Sony Bend, I believe, all
Yeah.
was wanting to make another new game where all or like kind of go off and do something else, but the team began working on a remake of the 2013 hit The Last of Us for the PlayStation 5. Oh, which a lot of people aren't super hyped on. But then,
That game needs a remake.
does it?
No, like
I'm
that's the last game.
just like,
That's the last game that needs a remake.
almost like, okay. I didn't know if you were being serious or not for a second there. But like then some people from Naughty Dog were start being brought onto the team, and the team that was working under on it all were afraid that Naughty Dog was just going to all take over on the whole project, and then they asked to be let go all and then like they finally got that request about a month ago. So it's just like I mean like I'm trying to go over it real quick, but like it is a lengthy article that I recommend people going to read all. But like what are some of your high level thoughts on this? Is this like a lot of people are just like, why are you making Last of Us remastered? Because you can play it on PS3, then you got the remastered version on PS4, and then the PS4 version can still be played on the PS5. It's just like it's a very accessible game. I think like Last of Us Remastered is even on the PS Plus collection for all
I
if you have a
believe so. Yes.
PS5. It's just like so you have that game very it's very accessible game, whereas they don't really need to. And like the big thing is like, why would you remake that game? Is just like we've already like you. It's not hard to go back to at all right now.
I think, in my opinion, I think what it boils down to, and it sucks because, well, I guess it doesn't suck because each big, Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, so really they're all kind of going in their own direction. But I think it boils down to this. Obviously, we do know that Days Gone was profitable. We know that it made the money. We know that it did not. I think it got like 70 something on Metacritic. Like that's not bad. So but I guess critically it didn't do well enough for them. But I guess their eye, they're kind of taking that Marvel Studios approach, where it's like if we're gonna make something, it's only gonna be big, huge budget, AAA, crazy million trillion sellers. And when we take a look at The Last of Us, it did really well on PlayStation 3. It did, I think, even better on PS4. Maybe not, but I know it did a lot on PS4. Um, and maybe there's the show that's coming out, so maybe they're like, all right, we'll remake it that'll coincide with the show, and maybe they can like release it like as a bundle with The Last of Us 1 and 2, re-release that with the show, like along with the show. But put your resources somewhere else, man. Like seriously, like The Last of Us just doesn't need that, and it just sucks because there's all these other IPs that they could focus on that they're obviously not going to focus on, like The Legend of Dragoon, or like, something maybe a little more niche, or something that hasn't gotten the attention it deserves. And it's just like, it's just unfortunate that their first thought is like, oh, okay, how about The Last of Us? Everyone loves The Last of Us. And it's just like, yeah, but like, make a new game, like like remake the last. Like I feel like, I don't know though. I like personally, I would hope that people would be like, not this again. But then again, I feel like that huge like Sony pony fan base, they will totally eat that up and they'll be like, more The Last of Us, because I feel like a lot of Sony like diehard fans pride themselves on the fact that like their platform has like such like top tier games. And so like they'll always buy them like, oh well, this game is freaking immaculate, like it's so good. And it's just like, well, yeah, but it's so samey. Like it feels just like the last one and the last one and the last one and the last one. Like it kind of gets to a point where like, how far can Sony take these over-the-shoulder, third-person action adventure, cinematic-driven games? And but I don't know. It really annoys me, honestly. It's like it almost feels just like, oh, The Last of Us, like let's just do like really, like no unique idea, nothing like cool to think of, not like an IP to bring back, nothing else,
Yeah,
just The Last of Us, like really.
for me, like it was just like I mean, the some of the other games that I've picked up on my PS for the PS Vita all are like a lot more of the classic PlayStation games. Like I got like I picked up the Ratchet and Clank like collection on the PS Vita. I have
Oh,
picked up
nice.
this um the
Ooh, Sly
Sly
Cooper.
Sly
Yeah.
Cooper collection. Is just like I bought the Jack collection on my PS5, but I'm considering of rebuying it on the Vita as well. Well, so that like I can play those on the go. It's just like there's a lot of like legacy older content like that like the studios that like created them have kind of moved on to other things, but like I'd really like to see them go back to it. It's just like I like earlier this year I talked about playing the original, I mean, not the original, but the 2016 Ratchet and Clank um game, and since like that became a free to like play at home game,
Oh,
well
yeah, that was
this
free.
this year is just like more people talked about it and they were just like, oh well, like this is a fun game, but it doesn't really bring in like the nostalgia of the originals. I was just like, okay, well I kind of want to see, or like it doesn't like have the same character as the originals. I was just like, okay, well if that's the case, maybe I should go play the originals and see if the originals grab me. So oh, and then like one person brought up was like this crazy theory for the new Ratchet and Clank game. Is just like they're popping through all these worlds. What if at one point there's like this brief cameo from like Jack and Daxter as they pop through worlds.
Oh,
It was just like that'd be fun. It's just like, and then like it like
dude.
as like it being a hint towards like them remaking or like doing a new Jack and Daxter game. It's just like those are some of the games that I'd really like to see. Is like some of these older IP that like haven't really gotten like a game like everyone like people talk about like oh PlayStation like has like a lot of these action like blockbuster games, but they also don't have a lot of like oh younger family friendly games like your classic
Yeah.
like platformers and everything
I
like
th- um
so it'd be interesting to see them like maybe try and bring back some of these more family friendly titles and see how they do in like today's marketplace.
I think oh man, I'm my head's just stuck on that cameo you mentioned because dude, that'd be so cool. But I would really like that, but I think Sony has kind of put themselves in this bubble. Like for instance, when Sackboy came out, I don't think that did well at all. Like I don't think that did the numbers that Sony was expecting, and I don't even think Sony was expecting any like crazy numbers. But to be fair, I mean, Sackboy's, I mean, really known for Little Big Planet, so maybe just a standalone Sackboy title really wasn't going to do well to begin with. But I
Mm,
feel like if you bring back like Jack and Dexter, like you know, or like an IP like that, it'll definitely garner more attention. And
yeah,
you know,
because
we do have a Rift Apart, and it's going to be really interesting for Rift Apart to see how well that does. Because I feel like if this Ratchet and Clank just doesn't sell well, then I think Sony's going to abandon that too, which is unfortunate.
being the thing that's all being like I'm looking for being like I think it'll be interesting because it's not going to have to like because it's not like a movie tie-in thing, so like they're not trying to do the thing where it's a game based off of a movie based off of a game type thing.
Yeah.
It's just like and there's just like moments in that game that like I just didn't enjoy. Like there's several moments where like you're doing the thing where like you're playing as for Ratchet, I mean not Ratchet as Clank, and you're like running towards the camera, like running away from this thing. I was just like, this isn't fun. Like when has ever running towards something ever been fun. Oh, but like this conversation kind of goes into another thing here. We got a quote from Jim Ryan that's says, "We have been quietly been but steadily investing in high quality games for PlayStation, and we will make sure that the PS5 generation will have more dedicated software than ever before," Ryan said. "We have repeatedly engaged in mergers and acquisitions, including Insomniac Games in the US. We will not rule out that option in the future." So it's just like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
so like they're talking, like this article goes on here. It's just like, oh, talks about a lot of things, but like it's talking about how Jim Ryan talking about how they're trying to build up all these, like build up their studios and like you like a lot of what Xbox has been doing and saying, oh, okay, we're gonna have all this stuff, but like if you're gonna be introducing all this stuff, and there's even talks about new AAA games coming down the line from like people like I think we had that. I can't remember her name, but there was I think when I was talking to last time when we talked to Travis, we talked about how there was a new how Sony had a new game in development,
Yeah.
and this past week, I can't Firewalk
Yeah.
Studios announced that they're making a AAA like multiplayer game for PlayStation as well. So it's just like they have all these other things, but like I'd really like to see some of their older things, like some of the things that like I was interested in when I was a kid, but like I never had a PlayStation to play. So I mean, it'll be interesting going forward, with what we see out of Sony.
I mean, honestly, I think this is extremely exciting. One, because it justifies the purchase of my PS5. But two is because, I mean, when they come out and say that, it's like, I mean, dude, we got to remember, like, let's go back to 2016, Dane and Dominic, when the PS4, I think you got your PS4 around the same time
I
as, no, you
got
got yours in
October
2017.
2017.
Um, so around that time, but there were so many good. I mean, like, if it's just the level of exclusives we got during the PS4 era, if we're getting more, I'm excited. The only thing that worries me is like, please don't be like more of The Last of Us. Please don't be more of, and I say this like, don't take this the wrong way, but please don't be more of like God of War. And I don't say like give me a sequel to God of War, but like don't give me a sequel to God of War and then follow up with that sequel and then follow like just I want new.
Yeah, you want
And
other experiences other than
yeah,
these third person action
like
games.
I don't know if you've been paying attention to Returnal, but I've been like just seeing the trailers for that dude and that looks awesome. Like
Me
it's really really getting my attention.
yeah, it's getting my attention a little bit, but like the thing is, like it's a kind of still of a horror game, and like those rogue-like elements just like are kind of a turn off for me. It's just like, but like I've been hearing the buzz around that. It's just like Control meets old Metroid. It's just like okay,
Ooh.
that sounds cool. It's just like I tried getting into
Ooh.
Control, but like Control wasn't like I'm just easily scared. I'm a bit of a chicken, or like I got to like the first boss fight in Control, and like I kind of like jumped off of it because, oh, for a bit, like I was trying to play so much stuff when I got because like I got that when I got the PS5, but there was so much other there's been so much I've been trying to play that like I
Yeah,
just
it's
haven't gotten
insane.
back to it. Like I actually look at my PS5, like my library of games on my PlayStation, and I have like 100 games in my digital library, and I'm just like, I'm never gonna get to all of these.
Yeah, that's just that's what happens, man. The ever-growing backlog, right? It's like it's at this point it's a freaking joke. But it's just like I don't know. I'm content with the backlog, you know. I know that I will play them one day, but sometimes it does suck when you like the only thing I hate is like when you want to drop a game to start another game and then you pick that game up and then you drop that game to start another game and you're like, not this loop again.
I mean, like
Um,
my thing is like I got so much of it as like free games on PlayStation Plus when yeah, I didn't even like actually own a PlayStation for a
oh
bit,
yeah, that's
and
right
then
because
like
you
the
still
PS
kept
Plus
your
collection is a bunch of games that I never played all on the PS4 because like I wasn't didn't have a PS4 for most of that generation. So it's just like I've collected like a large number of games digitally from all of that I'm just like I'm never gonna be able to get through all of these because like I was trying to play Assassin's Creed and I'm just like I kind of fell off of that because it's just like it was a good game, but like at certain points it's just more of the same stuff. So
yeah. I
it's
heard Assassin's Creed was pretty mid-tier. It was really just like meaty and just too. But I think it did well because like it was a hyped launch. Came out at the same time as new consoles. You know, Assassin's Creed.
yeah, I've been calling it a beanbag game. Like it's just like it's something that you can just like lean into, kind of fall down and just like relax and play. But like
I like that. I feel like I call Persona games that. That's really cool. I like that beanbag games. That's pretty cool.
so it's just like it's meaty, but like the story just like it feels more of the same. Like most of the interesting story stuff I feel happens early on, and then like there's just so much areas to like go and explore. It's just like you could like play that game casually like for a good half a year. Oh
Jeez. Holy crap. Whoa.
yeah, it's just like it's one of those games like you can really get your money's worth out of it. Oh, it's just
Well, I
like
guess that's a good thing.
yeah, but I kind of want to try and go back through it and like try and mainline it, but uh anyway, that's besides the point. I think we need to be moving on to our next news story here. So
Yeah, dude, there's so much.
all right, so a big thing that happened this year, and kind of the reason like one of the reasons behind me picking up a Vita recently is PlayStation came out and said that they were going to be shutting down their stores on PS3, PS Vita, and PSP. After about a week or two, they came back and said, hey, like, let me see. I got the article from Jim Ryan here. So it's just like, recently we notified players that PlayStation Store for PS3 and PS Vita devices was planned to end this summer. Upon further reflection, however, it's clear that we made the wrong decision here. So today I'm happy to say that we will be keeping the PlayStation Store operational for PS3 and PS Vita devices. PSP commerce functionality will retire on July 2nd, 2021 as planned. So, so it's just like the big like when they announced that they were shutting down these stores, to me, like it wasn't like huge. Like it's just like it seemed like business as usual. It's just like, okay, it costs money to keep these servers up and running, and PS3 now being like 2 generations old, and all the PS Vita never really having really hit that mainstream success, is just like, okay, yeah, it makes sense that you're closing these down. But like the big thing that came out afterwards, and like what like really made me more concerned about it, is just like there were over, I think it was over 2,000 games were not going to be playable at all anymore after those stores went down. And it's just like that was the big thing to me. It's just like, okay, that's, I mean, like from a game preserve, like these PS3 and PS Vita are kind of like the start of where digital libraries started to begin. So like with all that going away, it's just like that's bad from a whatchamacallit standpoint, from a game preservation standpoint, and that's not great. But what are your thoughts on it?
Well, the one thing I like is that I like that Jim Ryan actually heard fans and was like, "Oh, people actually like playing older games." So yeah, I like that his eyes opened up a little bit there, which was really nice. Um, it's kind of tricky because to be honest, I'm on the same boat as you. I mean, um, it's business as usual. Like, of course, it was going to shut down at some point. Like, I understand that they have to shut it down at some point. Like, I get it. So I wasn't mad about it. But I like that people were spoke up about it and something actually happened. Now, what I really hope comes of all this, I hope that Jim Ryan's like, all right, well, let's put whatever resources we're putting into this and put it into the PS5 and make these games accessible to people who are on PS5 or PS4. That way they can continue to play these games. And if they've already purchased them on PS3 or PS3 or PSV, yeah, PS3, then they can still play them. On the Vita standpoint, that one's kind of tricky because we got a. It is a failure. It was a commercial failure, so they probably just want to wipe their hands with that. And I did think it was kind of crappy how there are people who are still making games for it. And they're like,
Oh
oh,
yeah, that was
so this is going away, but we're still actively making a game for it. That's pretty cool. So I thought that was that. I mean that was kind of messed up. But I'm pretty sure Jim Ryan said something about like I think he said like, oh, we'll just make them for PS5 then. It's like, oh, cool. Like it's like okay. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'd say the biggest thing is really just that I just like the fact that Jim Ryan actually like listened, paid attention, and realized that like, oh, people like older games because I'm pretty sure he's been very verbal and very adamant about the fact that like he doesn't care about preservation or he doesn't care like pretty sure he even said one time like people why would someone want to play like Forza on PS3 because it looks this way or something like that. I'm like, what do you mean? Um but yeah, the fact that they took them and then a week later they're like they're back was kind of funny.
yeah.
Um,
So like here, I mean, like there is. Well, I think I'll just put this in the description for the show, but there's a list. I have a list of 35 games here. I think I'm just gonna, instead of reading that off, I'm just gonna put that, well, that a link to that article where it says the 35 games that will be going away from that are set to disappear from PSP. I'll put that in the video description if anyone wants to have a look at that. But yeah, it's just like it. Yeah, that was another thing. Is just that was like the big thing. It was just like people are still making we're still making games for the Vita, And the thing that's like interesting about the Vita is it's like it's not really a success, but the people that like the Vita and like the that enjoy playing the Vita are passionate
Shouldn't, dude.
all fans. Like the reason, like half of the reason I got the PS Vita was like, okay, well it's going away, so like if I want to try it out, it was just like if I wanted to try it out, I needed to do it now. But like the other thing is like I'm a big fan of the kind of funny podcasts, which is led by Greg Miller, and Greg is so diehard um Vita fanboy that oh I have been listening to him talk about the Vita for the past 4 years, and like anytime the Vita is mentioned, he's just like on the show, he's just like the Vita lives, and I was just like if this platform inspires so much passion in someone, I mean like it's got to be at least worth giving it a go. So, well, but
I
like I feel like part of the thing that makes the Vita so great is like it had the built-in functionality to do remote play from your PS4 and PS3, which like it doesn't have that compatibility with the PS5 though. So like that's a bit um sad. I was just like I feel like I'd get a lot more out of this if I could remote play like Persona 5 to it while I'm watching TV.
Or they put Persona 5 on Switch, but probably never happen. That would be nice, but probably never happen, which is very unfortunate on their end. I had a Vita for a bit. The only issue I ran into is all the games I wanted for the Vita were astronomically expensive. So I was just like,
I mean,
it's just
for me, like the thing that bothers me is like the PS Vita has a proprietary memory card, and those memory cards are
are
stupid expensive.
expensive.
So
Holy
like,
crap.
I mean, like I'm over here. I got my little micro SD card adapter for my computer, and I got myself one of the SD card adapters for the Vita, and I'm going to at some point mod my Vita to uh, read that SD card so that I can fill it up a bit more and kind of turn it into a portable emulator device at some point. I'm gonna wait to do that until after I beat um after I'm done with Persona 4 though, because I don't want that. Like it seems like a fairly simple procedure to be able to mod it, but I'm just like I don't want to accidentally erase my PS on my Persona 4 well, my Persona 4 progress until after I beat
Ooh.
that game.
Yeah,
Because like
that's
I'm like 70 plus hours in right now, and I'm just like
yeah,
no.
that's a there's a no turning. That happens and just I'm done. I'm done with the
Yeah.
game. There's no way. I'm not. Yeah, man, I really want a Vita again now. But I can't. They're like they are going up in price like no tomorrow.
Yeah, I paid an ungodly amount for mine because like I was under the impression that like there was a time window and everything. And I'm just like paid a good 100 more than I should have. That was like my opinion.
Well, I mean, depends. You also get it's immediate, right? Like you got it then and there. So I
Yeah, and
depend when
also
you
I
look
don't
at
have to worry.
convenience.
Yeah, the
Um,
convenience is just, like not have to worry about like getting something from eBay that like
yeah.
is turns out to be something else. You can
And I
go
will
on eBay
say,
right now, and I'm sure you can find someone trying to sell you a image of a 3080 graphics card right now.
oh yeah, dude, for who knows how much too. Um, I, I don't in a weird way, like I feel like the Vita should just kind of like slowly, quietly die. But at this point, I feel like it's people are so passionate about it, and the indie community is so strong on it that it'll probably like kind of be like the second Dreamcast, where it'll just still just have this like rabid community for years and years and years to come, even though it just didn't do that well. But yeah, I guess we can roll right on to the next topic.
Alright, so this is going to be just a quick one. I just want to remind everyone this is going to round out our PlayStation Rock block where we just have a quick and all update. It's just like, so starting on April 19th, that's already in the past, all going until May 14th, you can pick up all Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition for the all PS4 and PS5 all for free as part of Sony's PlayStation of play at Sony's play play at home all initiative. Every time I say Sony Play, I want to say PlayStation, not all something else.
Sony
All
PlayStation Play.
yeah, all so like that's a game I love. It's the reason that I bought a PS4 to begin with, and it was just like so. I highly recommend going to play that. But also this past week, Aloy came to Fortnite as a skin, and I mean like I haven't played Fortnite since 2018 when it came to the Switch, and I'm just like so I jumped back into that so that to play as Aloy for a bit, and it's just like I actually had a lot of fun playing Fortnite.
Oh,
All so I mean like that's just something that I
never thought I'd
recommend
hear
checking
those
out.
words.
No, I mean like because like they changed it a lot. Like back when I was playing it in 2018, like the for that season you got this Rift skin, like this character. I think the skin was called Rift or something like that. Oh, but like you needed to get like X number of experience points to unlock different styles for him. Whereas for all this now, like they have quests instead of like it being purely experience based. So like I bought the battle pass, so I had something to do. But like as part of the battle pass, you can get unlock Raven from like all DC Comics
Wait,
as a
what?
skin. Yeah, you can unlock
I
Raven,
did not. Yeah, I didn't expect that.
but but if you complete 70 epic quests, you unlock an alternative style for her as Rachel Roth, which is like her her secret identity. So like I'm just like I am such a simp for her for Raven that I'm just like, oh yeah, I gotta get my battle pass up there. I gotta do some quests. I'm like just like where like having the quest like okay, I need you like to okay in this you need to do this like open X number of saves or like there's like this whole story arc quests set of quests in the game that are that like it's just like okay the game isn't about trying to get the victory royale. The game right now is about doing the quests and like doing like this like quote unquote story mode in the game. And
Oh,
I was just like, okay, I kind of enjoy doing this and like this being my priority, not being like, oh, am I gonna win? But I'm actually like fairly decent at it. Like, there's been a few times where oh, like I'll be in one location and like one person comes up, I manage to take them out. Another person pops up on the other side, take them out. Like there was like one time that like I got like 3 kills in like a minute or two, and I was just like, wow, am I decent at Fortnite or something? So like,
I think I played Fortnite once, and I played it for like 5 minutes. And I was like, not for me. I can't get into them. I can't. I don't know what it is.
well, I mean,
I
like,
tried PUBG for a bit, and it's so boring because like they're literally just like like 10, 20 minutes go by before you even see one person, and I'm just like, dude, what the frick? This is crazy.
I
Um,
actually managed to get a victory royale in Fortnite
yeah, I saw
at
that, dude. That's pretty cool.
like those like when you get down to like those last 5 people, like I feel my heart start like pumping, and it's just like like I get it when at that point I was just like, oh, like I don't need this all the time, but like after like playing like 6 hours of Persona 4 in one day, I'm just like I kind of just need something a little bit different and like that
Yeah.
all little bit of like spice to just like jump in and play a few rounds of Fortnite. All is kind of fun just to change things up. It's a different pace and everything. All right, moving on done with well, we are done with PlayStation. Alright, and while I guess we're on the subject of Fortnite, we're gonna skip ahead to well Xbox free to play games are now actually officially free to play. So, like a few months ago, back when we had that Xbox Live update, all they were when like they were going to change the price for Xbox Live, and then they kind of backpedaled and said like, "Oh, actually, no, wait, well, that was a bad choice," and they said we're
I
actually going to
remember
make these
that.
games free to play. So we finally got that update to Xbox Live. So now you no longer have to pay for an Xbox Live subscription in order to play your free to play games like Fortnite and oh God, I can't remember. That was another one I was about to mention, but I can't remember it
Apex?
off. What?
Apex?
Oh well, Apex or there's another one, another sci-fi shooter. Um, what was it called? It's probably in this list. Um,
Uh, I'm the last person to talk to.
yeah.
I'm like,
Man,
I'm
wow, that's
trying.
actually like a
Warframe. Is that it?
Warframe.
Warframe?
That was the
Okay.
one I was
I know
looking
that
for.
one's kind of popular.
Yeah, it's just like
Ah.
there's actually like a good number of them. Like a lot of these, there's a whole list here. Like there's an Outriders. There's an Outriders demo that was that the demo for Outriders was supposed to be a free to play online experience apparently, but you
Hmm.
had to have the Xbox Live for that. So it's just like so is all the there's actually a rather large list here that I wasn't fully anticipating, but yeah, it's now free to play online, all which is a good thing. I mean, a bit too I mean, like this was something that even Nintendo was beating them on with for like you didn't need the all online membership to play Fortnite online all
Oh
on the
yeah.
Switch. It's just like it's a bit weird seeing
Well, I
all
mean, in all
Nintendo be ahead
honesty,
on something.
free to play should be free to play. Like, I don't think. I think it's kind of odd to like, oh no, it's free to play, kind of like.
I think it's just something. It was like a product of like it was just how the system was built out originally. It was just like that just like took too long to actually get updated because like what I imagine back when they built their online infrastructure with the 360, they weren't really anticipating this rise of free to play games at all. And it's like like I'm sure like games like Fortnite, they're getting their percentage of it on the back end with like how much that game is like pay for your battle
Oh,
pass, pay for your levels, or like buy your skins. It's just like they're making a percentage on all of that. So it's just like I think it just finally got to the point. It was just like, okay, we are making our money off of these games in some way or fashion on the
oh,
back
they are.
end. So it's just like if we don't actually charge them to play, like to have this, we're probably gonna get the money on the back end all for of them putting more money into these games for stuff and we'll still make money off of them through that way. So I think it's just more of a matter of it was a matter of like how the system was originally built and how their infrastructure was built and then like they just took forever to actually fix it.
I will say, I do since we're on the topic of free to play, there was the um gosh, they're free to play. Okay, there was the um man, dude, the Resident Evil Village demo that came out, the second one. That was for play exclusive to PlayStation for a bit, and you can only play it for like a certain time. But
It was like 8 hours and like
yeah,
it
it
was something silly. It was like it's only available for 8 hours because this is Resident Evil 8. I was like, that's a silly decision.
I played it. It was all right. It felt really like I got Resident Evil 4 vibes like crazy, but it's just more Resident Evil. Like didn't have any like crazy takeaways from it. Um, but I am pretty stoked for it. Capcom's been on. I mean, Monster Hunter Rise came out. They have Monster Hunter Stories 2. They have the Ace Attorney, the Great Chronicles. That's getting localized. That's coming over to the stage, which is really nice. Um, I will probably play it at some point in time, but it's just I did want to mention Capcom for a brief moment because I feel like they've been knocking it out of the park. And then one quick piece of news that actually that just came up was about Cyberpunk. So I know we've talked about Cyberpunk for such a long time, but so we have some pretty interesting stats on Cyberpunk here that I wanted to briefly go over to just show like how just the controversy and just how crazy Cyberpunk 2077 was. So wow. In the first month that well in okay, so you remember when the date Cyberpunk came out, right?
Yeah,
It was
like it was
in
like
December.
December, like early December.
So in December, geez, Cyberpunk 2077 sold 13.7 million, 13, almost 14 million copies
Yeah, and I mean
in December.
I don't have the article in front of me or the numbers in front of me, but like actually a hefty majority of that is all
PC.
PC numbers is just like which was like the best place to play the game. So like a good number of those people probably actually kept their copies instead of returning it.
Here's the very interesting thing. So apparently, so the game grossed let's see, 563 million in total sales. You know how many copies were refunded?
How many?
215,000 refunds. So 2.23 million dollars in direct refunds.
Ooh.
Yikes, dude. No, but like a very minuscule percentage actually got a refund and returned the game. So it's kind of crazy. And then I think we also have the budget for the game, which they don't really make it clear here in this article. So I would take this with a big old grain of salt. But apparently it was over $1 billion,
Yeah, but didn't they
which is
say like
crazy. Like
they
1.2
they
billion dollars.
they made their money on all? Didn't they like make back their money, or like it was profitable just
Day
off of the
one
pre-orders alone?
pre-orders. Yeah, that's what I thought. But obviously it hasn't made that much money. So I'm assuming that's not correct. But yeah, man, it's interesting to see how well that game did, and it's almost going to be like a second launch when it comes out on PS5 and Xbox Series X, like the real launch, and it'll probably do really well when they relaunch it too.
Oh no, I mean like that's something like at this point like I'll play it, but like I'll wait for a sale on it. It's
Yeah,
just
that's
like
a that's a $20
like
bargain bin pickup for me.
yeah, that's where it is. It's just like how like the whole narrative around it and like all the bad press. I'm just like I'm not gonna pay full price for that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if I ever actually get to that game. All right.
Yeah.
Um. Okay, we got one last news story here. So this is just something that I found entirely interesting. Is MLB The Show 21 came to Game Pass on day one. And it's just like so. It's just like, of course, MLB The Show is developed by Sony first party studios,
Dun,
and
dun,
then
dun.
like we got the news this year that it was going to come to Xbox as well, and like on Xbox, like MLB is actually listed as the publisher, and and then it coming to Game Pass on day one is such a wild story. It's just like they're like I don't know what happened. Like the like ML like someone at part of the MLB must have been like what must have seen like been looking at the stuff for like FIFA and Madden and in NHL and all that stuff, and like it was just like why do we have our game only on one platform? And like the amount of people that I hear like saying like, oh, finally after years of RBI baseball or like or
RBI.
whatever,
Poor RBI.
it's just like we're finally getting MLB The Show. It's just like, well, it's just like old. So it's interesting and all like I've heard some people talk about it and like the quality of the game, but it's just like I mean like I'm more interested in the fact that it's just a game developed by PlayStation has become like quote unquote all free on Xbox. If you I mean like if you're already paying for Game Pass and everything, it's no additional cost to you to pick up this game. So it's just like that's just kind of wild to me.
Yeah, you got to imagine how much they forked out for that too. I mean, I would imagine, dude, it was a pretty big penny that
Me-
they shoved out to get. I mean, and I'm pretty sure MLB actually reached out to Microsoft for that and said we want just our game more accessible and we want it on more platforms. But even then, they still, dude, had to pay a pretty big chunk of change to get that going.
But I mean,
And
I imagine they're like the reason why it happened this year is probably whatever contract that they had for exclusivity on PlayStation probably expired or anything like that. It's just like or the turn like the chances to like change or renew the license, like something came up legally that they were able to actually finally do it this year, I'm sure. But all even I mean like even if you don't have if you didn't have Game Pass already, like they're usually like I think it's usually like $1 to try it out for like the first month
first month.
or like if it's $10 for the first month, it's just like if you had an Xbox versus a PlayStation, and it's just like I would if you were even interested in this, like you put the $10 down for Xbox Game Pass, and you get to try this game out, and then like the whole other library of games will with it. It's just like it's something like I think it'll be interesting. It like go how the game is launched and what the whole game looks like in the next few years, because I don't play MLB the Show, but I heard people talking about like oh how great it looks and all that, and like I was I was at a friend's house last night and they were playing MLB the Show, and I was just like they were playing it on a launch edition of PS4, and
Ooh,
just did not like that game looked rough to me. It was just like, ooh, this looks like a PS3 game to me.
yeah,
Like there was like flat textures out in the outfield and everything. I was just like, I don't get the hype around this game.
yeah. I would. Oh, I can imagine that probably did look a little rough around the edges. It is interesting to see though. Apparently, Game Pass subscribers reached 23 million, which is honestly a lot lower than I thought. I thought it'd be a little higher than that, but still 23 million. That's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Game, 1 second.
But it still begs the question: how long will it be sustainable, and how long can Microsoft keep that up? Because obviously, they're not seeing a huge amount of return from acquiring all these studios, and then on top of that, um, paying for all these games to come to Game Pass day one. So, but I mean, apparently it's been working out though. Outriders performed really, really well on Game Pass. It even did well like in retail sales too on PS4 or PS5, or PS4 X and Xbox. So maybe in a weird way, um, it is still working in for out for them in some strange way.
Me, this actually reminded me. Xbox Xbox cloud gaming xCloud will officially arrive this past week on PC and iOS for by an invite only beta. So
Oh,
it's just
nice.
like so talking about Game Pass expanding and like getting more numbers is just like this is only gonna increase it because all like I kind of dropped off of Game Pass because I wasn't really using it too much on my PC and I don't have an Xbox, so I stopped my subscription. But like the fact that they added recently some of the older games like the 360 and other games onto their xCloud, and then like adding xCloud now to PC and iOS, like I'm actually thinking about jumping back on Xbox, because like they got Banjo Kazooie on there and everything. It was just like, oh, if I can play some more of those older games on my PC the through Game Pass and everything, it's also like that actually they just keep adding value to it, and
They really do. Yeah, it's hard to look away at this point because you're like, man, it's such a good buy.
yeah, and like last month we got Outriders came to it on day one,
Day
and
one, yeah.
like I feel like that game was. I mean, like I think it's a good game. It sounds like a good game, but I feel like that game got a lot more press and like a lot more buzz around it because you had all those people jumping in and jumping into it via Game Pass to talk about it.
Yeah, I think and just the fact that it was a AAA game coming to Day Pass day one alone, it's just like, whoa, like that's a big deal. I mean, and then we have MLB the Show, like literally, almost a month. Like, it's a very big deal. Um, Hopefully they continue that momentum though, because obviously to be subscribed to Game Pass and get those games for free day one, like, well, that's a good deal.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, PlayStation's been. I think PlayStation's finally trying to like make some of their own moves against Game Pass. Like, I don't think. I think they're all little half measures here and there because, like, I mean, just like this first year so far with PS5 like games on play on like your free games each month. Like we've gotten a new title each month, but like all of those have been varying levels of quality. Like Oddworld Soulstorm came out, we got that for free this month.
Oh yeah, forgot
Last
about
month we
that.
got last was it last month or I think we got Maquette, and then we had Bug Snacks at launch. It's just like we keep getting like these PS5 games on it, but like it's just like you only get that one game, and like they're kind of a lot more of these smaller indie titles that we've been getting. So it'll be it'll be interesting seeing if PlayStation actually ever has anything to really come up against Game Pass at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sony kind of is just tests the waters a little bit because obviously they're kind of releasing like these smaller titles to kind of see how it goes. Like they know Oddworld's not going to do too well, and they're just like, well, we can put it out there and see how things go. I just don't see Sony doing it for the long run though. Like I don't think you will ever see Sony's big AAA games release on PlayStation Now or anything like PlayStation Plus day one. I don't think they'll ever do that. Just because when you take a look, like their IPs just do so well, they don't even need to. Like Microsoft almost didn't need to, but like in a sense, like their sales pale in comparison. Like their big Xbox One game, Halo 5, sold like 5 to 6 million units. Pretty sure God of War did like almost 20 million. So it's just like, and that's just one of Sony's like bigger games. So it's just like they didn't, Xbox was just down pretty bad. So
Yeah,
um,
like I think it kind of goes into that little bit of like buzz around the new systems. Is like I feel like the meme is more like, "Yo, can't find that PS5." It's just like no one says like can't find the PS5 or the Xbox or like it's like you hear about people like really like feverishly looking for stuff, and it's always them talking about the PS5 rather than or if they can get their hands on the Xbox or not.
oh yeah, that too. Yeah, getting one too, which I mean, hopefully these things become widely available soon at some point because it does kind of suck knowing it's like kind of weird though because we keep hearing like PS5s breaking sales records, but where are they? Where are they getting them? Who's buying these PS5s?
The scalpers.
Yeah, oh God. Yeah, that's just that's a story for another day though. It is unfortunate, but
All right.
it is what it is.
All right, Dom, I'm gonna kick it over to you. There are some more rumors and everything that all you wanted to talk about that I don't have on mine at all, and we are currently.
So we have a just a quick little recap from this leaker named Leaky Panda. And they've been pretty credible. And the only reason I even decided to bring this up is because Bandai Namco, one of their social media accounts, I think it was in Spain or something like that, actually like leaked an image by accident, which it was a just a like a trailer for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, but at the bottom it had Xbox Series X and X and Nintendo Switch. So this guy Leaky Panda says, here's some announcements from, and this was on April 11th. Some of these things have actually already happened. So this was DBZ Kakarot on Switch, Tales of Destiny coming to PS4, PC, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. Tales of Arise, which we actually saw the release date trailer for, which is I think September 9th or something like that. Dark Souls expanding further into Nintendo Switch and Stadia, so maybe like Dark Souls 2 or 3 can maybe somehow, I don't know how they'd make that happen. And then Gundam Breaker 4 coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Um, Honestly, I think all this is like none of this is like crazy, like out, like no way. Like all this just seems pretty up, pretty reasonable. Like I don't think there'd be a reason for these things not to happen. And then the bigger rumor I wanted to go over was, and this is just take this all with a grain of salt. This is like the big rumor. Apparently, we're getting remakes of Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance from the Fire Emblem game. So whether that happens, I don't know. I mean, Fire Emblem's really popular right now, so they could, and it is the an anniversary year, so maybe. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the rumor mill. But yeah, I think that'll about end it today.
Yeah. All right. Yep. I think we covered most of what we need to. We're gonna be trying to get back to this a bit more regularly, and as always, you can find us on Instagram or Twitter. All and be sure if you can well, leave us a review or it helps so much well, for people trying to find. Oh man, it's been a while since I've done this. Oh, it helps us so much to for it helps so much with the algorithm for people finding us. So if you could review, subscribe, it'd help us so much. Until then, have a great day.